What's good, everybody? Queen Common Sense from the Chi Town holding it down once again. Remix to the sticks. Boy, 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 here we are again. Mm-mm-mm. I don't know if y'all been paying attention, but Reesa Teesa, the 50 part TikTok uh, post that has broke the internet, um, the account of surviving her narcissistic ex husband. And boy, did that resonate with a lot of us, right? Mm-mm-mm. And the first people that came to mind was not just what we see in social media, but my own portion of a survival story and how I survived narcissistic abuse. And the most disturbing part of all this is so many of our people do not know that we are being abused. Okay. And this hits men just as hard as it hits women in the black community. And I used to try to talk about it a lot about 10 years ago. People are like, oh, you're oversaturating the word narcissism. Well, baby, we are now living in the times of revelations. Okay. And the veil has been ripped, snatched off of the demon we call in the spiritual sector Leviathan, Legion, and a combination of other things. Now, I watched all 50 parts of Miss Reesa Teesa, and some of them I had to rewatch because if I didn't know any better, I thought she was talking about my first husband, who is a pathological sociopathic liar, a grifter. And that's what a lot of these type of people do. And what is really disappointing and disheartening is how the boomer era, the boomer generation of narcissists in the black community, um, they have created monsters of sorts. And I like to call them, in my own way of describing a narcissist, is a domestic terrorist because that's what they are. They invade your domestic spaces and then they terrorize you. Okay. So that is my definition of a narcissist, somebody who you put your trust in to be a partner in a committed relationship. And the moment they feel that you have dropped your guard and have gained your trust, they flip the script. Now, this is a teachable moment for all of us. It's a wonderful reminder to some of us, and it's also game teaching game, spitting game to those of us who are still unsuspecting. And you know me, I'm that one. I'm that auntie, that big sis. I'm a love on my younger sisters. I'm a love on you. I'm gonna step in when I think I should step in, even though you might not agree. I'm one of them. I'm a girl's girl, okay? And I'm all about righteousness and continuing to keep a moral standard and female integrity in the black community. And I'm going to hold that standard to myself just as much as I hold it to my fellow sistren, excuse me, to hike the bar up spiritually of what our deal breakers are when we see red flags. Okay, because the red flags, here we go, say it together with me, are not to be ignored. That's why they called red flags. And they come in so many different directions, in so many different ways. And that's just the Almighty's way of gently tapping us on the shoulder and saying, hey, mommy, stop, pay attention, speak up, right? This is how you know if you have survived narcissistic abuse and if you paid attention to how much that shit hurt so you don't do it again and allow yourself to be sucked in to the nice nasty cycle of narcissistic abuse and gaslighting. Okay, last live we went over the effects of gaslighting once you retrieve yourself from that cyclone of bullshit dealing with a narcissist. Now, for those of us who don't know and haven't been watching, Reesa Teesa was married to a pathological liar and a narcissist, and she unaffectionately yet fittingly named him Legion for the sake of conversation and posting this 50-part series of what she endured being married to a narcissist for less than a damn fucking less than a month physically in the same under the same roof. Now to sum it up, she was clever and strong and smart enough to get him the hell out of her house and away from her, but the legal portion of it dragged out because of how he manipulated his personal or vital information to become undetectable. Now this matches another person that has hit the news and the news feed fast and hot and heavy, Portia Williams. Okay, it's alleged that Portia Williams husband Simon is an alleged scammer, ID scamming, mortgage fraud, alleged credit card fraud, and so on and so on and EIEIO. Okay, now this is a teachable moment for us because narcissists, that's how they start out, being exactly who that you want them to be, whatever you're looking for. Now, a lot of the elders whom I have grown to respect here on YouTube say the same thing that my grandmother used to tell me before I started dating, and I couldn't understand why she said that. But now I do. She said, don't tell a man what you want in a partner. Don't ever do that because then they got you exactly where they want you because they will do and say and behave and perform exactly how you want them to up until you, one, either say no, or two, start to question and hold them accountable for what they say. You know, I call them fisting two type niggas. You know, I'm fitting to do this and I'm gonna do that for you. And they never do it. They always have an excuse. They always have a reason and an explanation and a tap dance around doing what the fuck they said they're gonna do. Okay, now I did this live stream this late at night for a reason, 'cause I might slip up and say some foul language, some expletives, and colorful adjectives because this is very close to my heart. Because not only did I grow up with a narcissist, my mother, I was severely gang stalked, slandered, and railroaded a lot by my own mother after I became an adult and had my own children. Now we can make this nice and easy, or we can make it hard and fast, but I'm just gonna put it out there, right? So that it is yet another avenue of information where we teaching the game that we should have been taught by the boomer era. You dig? Now, this is the ex-husband of Reesa Teesa, and his rebuttal to her 50-part series of Who the F Did I Marry? Um, just said she's lying. She's lying about everything, you know, and then he had the nerve to life in your home and turn your life upside down and destroy it as you once knew it to be, to break you to move on to the next. And these type of individuals are usually raised by male identified baby boomer, usually. Now, I'm not saying all people from the baby boomer era are like this and raise narcissistic children who grow up to be domestic terrorists, terrorizing other unsuspecting people who are honestly and truly looking for a partner in life, a upstanding, equally yoked individual to ride out this thing here we call life, right? Not all, but a lot. Okay. Because the baby boomer era are the narcissists who feel like it is acceptable to have a wife and a side chick. Okay. I believe, in my opinion, they're the innovators of that sick, dysfunctional bullshit. Having side babies, side family, secret lovers, sneaky links, what the young people call now. They began to glorify side chickery way back there around late to 2000, around in the 2011-ish, you know, 2010. Side chicks was getting bold, like Ariane Curry now. Now, this particular dude, he was a very elaborate actor. He could have imaginary telephone conversations in front of his former wife as if he was speaking to someone else on the phone to convince her of this long, drawn out lie he's been living, you know, and just grifting from woman to woman, household to household, terrorizing and destroying and distracting women from their quiet, peaceful, successful, comfortable lifestyles and livelihood and peace. Moreover, any of that. Okay. Now, we talk the way we talk and we use profanity because sometimes we have to meet people where they are, right? If you hood, we got to get down there and speak the hood lingo. If you are educated and you're a preppy type of person, we can bring it back up to the second and third register English. But if you have a problem with profanity and a little bit of swear words peppering out throughout this live stream here, it's not for you. Okay, you change the channel. Um, but I'm doing this because it is a very, very intricate part of my life, and I have survived a lot at the hands of narcissists. And if I can put it out there and anybody can pick up what I'm putting down, great. If not, like I said, if it don't apply, let it fucking fly. Okay. So this is, when you encounter a narcissist or narcissistic people, they're a special kind of annoying, right? They will disrupt your sleep, which then in turn disrupts your appetite and disrupts your clarity, disrupt your ability to mentally function and sometimes physically function. And people like Martell Holt Trash Box, Marceau Hotel Motel Holiday Inn with the back out, uh, Cheater Pumpkin Eater, them type of dudes, you know, they say what they think sounds good. They don't even really listen to themselves, and they get you so confused till you just tap out and you're like, you know what? Fuck it. Do whatever. I don't care no more. I'm tired of going around and around in this circle. Okay. So you want to sidestep people if they talk too fucking much, right? If they offer up information that you didn't ask for or you weren't looking for or you weren't curious about, you might be dealing with a narcissist. If they have a lot of, you know, imaginary narratives that they like to share and overshare, and when you innocently question for clarity, they get defensive or they just shut down, stay away. Stay away from them people, you know, because to parallel another instance of my own with this narcissist, uh, my ex husband was a pathological liar. He just lied just to lie. You ask him a question about something concrete, like, do you remember where the receipt is from when you paid the utility bill? Uh, no, I don't remember where that receipt is. Well, didn't you just pay that yesterday? Yes. Yes, I did. Okay, so let's backtrack. Can you find that receipt? Because I need to I need to match that up with the budget, make sure we got everything squared away for this month. So it might take them 3 or 4 weeks to find a receipt if they find it. In my case, he never found it because he never paid the damn bill. But he kept lying, saying he paid it, and then he would hide the current statement from me so that I couldn't check it. Unbeknownst to him, I was watching it online because at that time you could go paperless. The internet was the internet. So you could look up your bill and pay your bill and view your bill online. So I would be watching to see if the payment posted to the utility bill, and it never did. So that by the time this next month bill cycle rolled out, we were behind on that particular utility because he did not pay it. And then it goes on from there. Okay. And, you know, narcissists are very unaware of themselves, right? They tell a lie and they forget the lie they told, which is why they get defensive when you question, challenge them, or you deny access. You gray rock them, deny access to you, conversation with them. You give them the lightweight, silent treatment that they give you if you refuse them, right? You kind of mirroring their behavior to teach them that there are consequences to bad behavior. You don't reward bad behavior, which is how they became a narcissist at the beginning. Either their bad behavior was not checked or it was enabled, period. And my friends used to say back home in Chicago, you know what? Queen, don't be so mean. That's your husband. Y'all came this far. You got all this history. Bye bye boom. Right? Just chill, let up on him a little bit. You a Virgo. Be a little bit strict now. You got to loosen up. Don't be so mean. As I'm not being mean, I'm being honest. It's a big difference. A lot of the baby boomers are that way too. If you're honest with them, especially if they're your parents, your elders, anybody that's older than you, they think age equals wisdom because they have lived longer, that they know more than you. And in some instances that's true, but when you're dealing with these male identified narcissistic toxic mammies, uh it's true. They think that age equals wisdom, and they are old fools, and they don't leave much for us to really respect because they haven't taught us much because they were too busy being self-serving instead of raising us properly and teaching us and explaining things to us. We were raised in cognitive dissonance, right? And a lot of things went unaddressed that should have been addressed. A lot of conversations were not had, whereas then lessons were not learned, and then poor behavior was either enabled or ignored to then develop into having two different families, one of them secret, one of them the main family that they recognized and acknowledged, and so on, which bore the fruit of having side children who had to go without a lot of times because the father or the mother refused to acknowledge those children and they grew up to be able to tell their story and tell their truth. Then they were labeled crazy, mentally ill, or liars because of the ego driven person who selfishly created two separate households and forced these people into poverty you know, to live in poverty most times because they were greedy and either had some type of dysfunctional fetish of infidelity and the thrill of the chase of cheating on their spouse, with people like Coleslaw, Ariane Curry. So it is highly advisable to keep as much air between ye and thee who can never admit or acknowledge that they are wrong, even after the children grow up that were hidden and put in place in a secret lane, put them in a box and silence them to protect the lie of the narcissist, right? And then when these children grow up and start terrorizing the rest of society, hardworking people, who are trying to just have a lovely, peaceful life and make beautiful memories and have someone to share that with, couple up with these spawn of Satan, they the baby boomer who created this mess shows up on the scene as if they had nothing to do with how these adult children turned out. Okay? So keep your distance when you realize that you are in the crux of darkness with a narcissist. Get out because they have no accountability. I have gone no contact with my entire family. I have two parents who are still married, two older brothers and an older sister. I am the youngest of four. Two girls, two boys. And my mother is one of these baby boomers who does not know how to admit she was wrong. She will lie faster than a cat can cover up his caca in a kitty in the kitty litter. Okay? She is also nuttier than squirrel shit. And she is the most narrow individual. It's embarrassing, you know. She's the most narrow-minded individual that to date I know personally. Personally, um, it is disturbing to say the very least, and it is also very painful to admit that I was raised by a narcissist. I was delusional for a long time because I just revered her so much. And her elegance, her outward aesthetic elegance, really impressed me because she was very well groomed from head to toe. As a mother and as a wife, that was a beautiful thing to see. How to dress, how to carry yourself aesthetically. Keep that in mind. Narcissists are big on appearances, how to keep up a good appearance, a positive appearance to having their shit together. And they really don't. Some do, most don't. Because that's why they are codependent on you for their validation and narcissistic supply. Because they can turn around their own shortcomings onto you and project them onto you and beat you down to where you don't even know who you are anymore. You question your own common sense and logic. Narcissists can do a number on you. That's why I am so very proud and so very empowered by the story of Melody Cherie Rogers, to the point where she disconnected herself so good from the narcissistic energy from her former husband, she changed her damn last name, and I don't blame her for that. Okay, because you will be so disgusted and done and want to remove yourself so far from the connection of even the memory of being married to somebody like that. Yeah, you change your name with a quickness, quick as possible. Stat. Okay. Now, having endured so much trauma from the narcissist is mental and emotional and sometimes physical trauma, because narcissists are very violent. They can get very violent, and it's very difficult for them to contain that rage a lot of times, especially when they feel backed into a corner like a Chicago wreck. I don't know if anybody understands living in a large metropolitan city like Chicago, New York, California, lots of places in Cali. The rats get as big as pit bull terriers, and they are meaner than rattlesnakes. And if you corner one of them motherfuckers, they will fuck you up if you don't know how to bob and weave. Okay? So just because you have endured elongated trauma and emotional distress and pain doesn't mean you have to continue doing that. Narcissists feel entitled to abuse you, disrespect you, embarrass you, and drain you dry of any and all resources mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, financially, anything they could get their hooks in and convince you to fork it over. Don't do it. No means no. And if they do happen to that's how you sometimes a lot of people don't know they're being abused, because they feel like, okay, this is my family member, this is my husband, this is my mother, this is my daughter. I have to comply because of that's who that no. Well, I love them. No, because love is not designed to take you out, to make you feel depleted, if that makes sense. Uh Once you are able to remove yourself from this type of abuse, you know what love is not. This is be a clear indicator. That is not what I want. Okay. And it's really difficult, because for me, in breaking up with my mother was the hardest thing that I ever had to do, because the person that I knew to be my mother was not the person who she is. I had to accept that. I had to accept the fact that my mother is not my mother. This is Leviathan. Because not only is she a pathological liar, she is also very insecure and very jealous. Because me, I'm 6 years behind my older sister. She's the third child. I'm the fourth child. And that is a huge gap when you look back in the 70s. What's good, May May? Good to see you. Thanks for sliding through. So, my sister is a lot like my mother in the fact that she's very jealous and insecure. My mother did not show a lot of confidence, self-esteem, and things like that. A lot like, uh, Wasteland Wander, very insecure, very jealous. Marlene, meddling, mumbling Marlene, trash boxes, mammy. She also low self-esteem. Hey, Beverly Childs. Thank you for coming through. It's good to see you. You're so beautiful. I love those earrings. But yeah, a lot like those mammies, we know, very insecure, very jealous, even of women that they do not even personally know. That is the type of love you don't want, because narcissists will take your hate if they can't have your love. And we already see that when Melody said, snip cut, no more, you done played in my face. Now I see what's what. You showed me better than you could have told me. Now I'm got to bounce. And no more access denied. I can love you from afar. I can forgive you, but I don't have to allow you access back into my cipher to take advantage of my resources for free. No more freebies. You had your chance and you blew it. So you know what love is not. And this is why I'm so disappointed in Shirley Strawberry and her plight with this nasty, dusty, ashy ninja, Ernesto Williams. But at 70 something, Shirley should be spitting game and walking the talk and talking the walk and teaching us younger sage people coming up Gen X and below. The millennials need to be getting game from me, and I need to be getting game from old Shirley. Okay? But we see now cognitive dissonance is very real, and it's a form of abuse. Do as I say, not as I do. And I hope that we have finally squashed out and stamped out that fire of reprobate mindedness that our elders have taught us for so long. Do as I say, not as I do. Okay, so now, now we're confused because I'm supposed to do what you say, but you're not doing what you were taught and what the words say that you shoving down my throat and forcing me to acknowledge that I don't quite understand. And then because you're my elder, you're telling me don't question me. But then you say when you in school, if you don't understand something, ask questions, right? That is cognitive dissonance. Okay. And a lot of children, such as myself, who grew up underneath that ice age, dark age, word salad teaching, a lot of us started to medicate that confusion with illicit substances. Okay. A lot of us turned to abuse of those substances to medicate the confusion and the pain of not having the answers and the guidance that we need. Okay. And then you turn around and go, well, what's wrong with that child? You, you, you are. Because you have, by age 12 to 13, with that type of reprobate minded type of leadership, it's instilled in the psyche of the child to be double minded. And you cannot then turn around and use corporal punishment and knock the devil out the child that you say is in the child, has possessed the child, because that's what you put in them. Okay, that's what you instilled in them to ride, be a fence rider. Okay, so now you know what love is not. For the critical people of gentle parenting, that's what parenting is. The mother is supposed to be gentle with her children, but not so much so that they turn out like trash box holes. Okay. You're supposed to correct your children. You're supposed to instill in them by living the word that you're teaching. Okay. You're not supposed to tell them one thing and then they see you doing something else and then try to take them from this realm for questioning you. But I saw you do that though. Don't, no, you don't challenge me, child. But how am I supposed to learn if I don't ask you questions about what you're doing? You're my mother, yo. Huh? And then these young men grow up to see us as mothers, our sons, right? They come in the room and they see this man being absolutely abusive and totally deplorable and disgusting with their mother, yet they are scared and intimidated and too timid to step in. As any man should, any son, any brother, any husband, any uncle should step in and say, hey, whoa, whoa. Now I'm big enough to put the foo flops on you. Okay. And if you don't back up off my mom, I'm going to back you up. Okay. Now, that could be the first scenario, or it could be where the son turns on the mother and loses all respect for his black mother because she does not respect herself and command respect from the black man that is supposed to be leading the household. Hello? And a lot of times it's not the biological father. Most times it is. You know, the media wants us to believe that there are a shortage of nuclear black families, which is a lie from hell. Okay? It's just more promoted that of the blended family. You know, we can't keep a husband. You know, our mouth is the detriment of the black woman, and so forth, which is another lie straight from the pit of Hades. Okay, so now that we know what love is not, We know how to sidestep that domestic terrorist that we call a Leviathan. You understand? We can totally sidestep it now. Okay. So this here is what the meaning behind watch as well as pray, right? Because you don't want to jump the gun and say, oops, be too defensive. Because we like to try to give people a slight benefit of the doubt using common sense and logic. Because a lot of times, y'all, we fall in love with our pocketbook. Right? When you fall in love through your pocketbook down there, you cannot think logically because those are emotions. Emotions tied to your pocketbook will always get you in trouble. Always. Okay. You're not supposed to lead with your pocketbook. That's why it's called the sacral chakra. It is protected at the base of the spine, right underneath the tailbone, between your buttocks, your gluteus maximus cheeks. You sit on it to protect it because that is the last and final treasure gift that is awarded to the opposite gender, the complementary sex, the man, when he earns your complete trust. Okay. He should never have access to your sacral chakra until after there has been a spiritual and emotional and physical commitment to you monogamously. Period. There ain't no negotiation there. That's how you sidestep a narcissist. So you could fall back and play stupid and just watch. But you stay prayed up and guarded with your rituals that the Most High has guided you to do daily. Those are your self affirmations. If you are self assured, that's why I call it self esteem. You're supposed to have it, and it's supposed to be high. It's not supposed to be lofty, haughty, or arrogant, but it's supposed to be confident and a tad bit of cocky because that's how you back them hoes up off you. When they get to starting to flexing and saying it with their chest and it's out the side of their neck, that's when the cockiness comes in and you run them bitches off like coyote. When you bang them damn garbage can lids together, they run away. So you play dumb and go, oh, is that what we gonna do? And just watch and hold your position. And when they don't deliver, guess what? Kick bricks with Jesus open toe shoes on. Okay. One thing I can't stand is a person that cannot follow through. Don't tell me you have the ability to do something and you know good and well you don't know what the hell you're doing and you don't intend to do it. Okay. That's one of the quick signs that we overlook of a narcissist, too. A fist and two ass ninja. Okay. The defensiveness of it all is what also is truly, it just gives me an allergic reaction, and that is physical nausea. Okay. Because they get defensive, because they can behave their way to successfully invading your domestic situation and totally rob you of every ounce and stitch of peace that you ever knew to be in existence before they got there. And it's so difficult to get rid of these motherfuckers. So they'll get defensive, right? Because they think their behavior is who they are. Well, I treat you good, don't I? I get you nice things, don't I? Don't I do the dishes and cook and clean and I'm attentive and I listen? Yeah, so then you could turn around and bash me over the head with it later and manipulate me with it. No, ma'am, sir. Okay? So peep game, y'all. Stop letting your pocketbook lead you. Okay? And after you become, rounding your 25, 30-ish years, them type of mistakes should be few and far between. That's why we say brokenness is nowhere to live. Okay. I can't tell you how many other Black sisters have come from me because I refuse to hold on to brokenness. I don't care if it's my own or theirs or somebody else's that they happen to be trying to dump on me. That's why empaths have to stay to themselves a lot. Introversion is very, very, very helpful when you have been dealing with or are dealing with narcissistic energy. Okay. You can't just let anybody into your cipher. You can't just trust anybody with your spiritual well being and balance. You have got to be very selective. It's nothing wrong with that. I've been talked about and dogged out all my life for being selective. It's energy. Energy never will lie to you. When I get a certain feeling, even as a young little girl, I remember I was 9 years old. It was a group of girls. We was gonna play double dutch child, and I had just got the good old press, hot comb press with the cholesterol treatment, bone straight. And little girls used to just go at me, just fuck with me, because I had a lot of hair. Okay, and they just would treat me like dirt because I was pretty cute little girl. Okay, and their mothers didn't take that time to you know, take them to the cosmetician, or do it themselves. I was a do it yourself. I was a kitchen tician because I paid attention. I took a little bit of cosmetology classes. I had a good friend in high school who went to cosmetology vocational classes when we was in high school. You see, home ec, and I learned a little something, something. And I never wanted to put a white sheet on my head and stand in the mirror and pretend I was a blonde haired little white girl. Okay. I was always proud of being a little Pocahontas. Okay. So these little girls would always count, how they are mean, make you go last. They give you the fucked up end of the rope where your hand get cut because wire from the clothesline is poking out. The one that didn't have the duct tape on the end of it, shit like that. Give you the fucked up broken roller skates, and all that shit. I was one of them. They hazed the fuck out of me when I was little. All right, because I was cute, I was well put together, and I had two-parent household. That means two parents living in the same house, Ariane. Two in the same house, married together under the covenant of the Most High. I had that type of household, but behind closed doors, what they thought the grass was greener on the other side, I was in a severely volatile home environment. I had no voice because children at that time were to be seen and not heard. You be quiet when grown folks is talking. You wait till I'm done. And if they never did get back around to you, then so be it. They got to your issue or your request when they was ready. Okay. That's why a lot of us Gen X was labeled Generation X because we were lost. We had no guidance from our elders, parents, and the village that was supposed to be watching out for us. Yeah, we came through the motherfucker and we grew up to be adults and we didn't perish to the so-called streets, as they say, but look to what emotional and mental sacrifice we had to go through being raised up underneath that dark age, antiquated regime of almost to the borderline of Nazism, in the black household. Okay. So just because our parents of the boomer era behaved well did not mean that made good fucking parents. Okay. Didn't mean they were good at parenting. That didn't mean they were good at raising and guiding and teaching and nurturing those children. Okay. And then to top it all off, a lot of them had secret families. Imagine the explosion of when the siblings met each other from the respective mothers. And see, this is what a lot of these passport bros and them Tommy Sotomayor's people followers and Sergeant Willie Pete era type of people mean by strong black women. Be strong. Be strong. Don't say nothing. Be mature. Don't want to, don't cause a stir. Don't remind me of the lie that I told you and forced you to live with, because if you spoke out about it, that means you were unruly wife and a quarrelsome wife. No, The narcissist is the quarrelsome wife. The narcissist is the one who wants to dictate and delegate everything and competes with her own children. So imagine the explosion, the emotional explosion, and the mental mind fuck that you get when you meet your half siblings that you didn't know about your entire life growing up with these people you call your parents. They knew, or maybe one of them knew, but the rest of the brood didn't know. Okay? Until you become adults. And right at the 11th hour, when somebody might accidentally be dating, or somebody might accidentally have already crossed that line, oh, the type of strength, that's not strength, that's survival. You know, our parents survived through abuse and then they just cursed us with the same philosophy that their parents handed down to them is now inherited by unsuspecting Gen X, millennials, Gen Z, and so on. So this right here, Teesa tells, I'm sorry, Teesa, Reesa, I'm sorry, Reesa Teesa, who the did I marry? Who did I marry? You married Legion. Because mental illness, what a lot of people don't understand is the occult is who we really are. The energy, the metaphysical portion of black people, it has colonization has tried to unalive it, has tried to erase the fact that we are supposed to be metaphysical beings. We are supposed to embrace the natural order of things. That's from earth to medicinal healing to mental health to astrological health, how we calculate the moves we need to make to be successful and live up to our greatest, highest self. Okay? Mental illness is just demonic possession. Okay? The colonizers and Western mental health caregivers and researchers only model that mental health. We need to label it. Because if they speak metaphysically, everybody think they're crazy. And they don't understand the metaphysical language like the melanated people do. Hello? So she married Legion, a pathological liar. Okay? All right? So if you come across anybody that can't tell the truth, that your energy is disturbed by their presence, they're always uneasy, your anxiety goes up, turn off the switch. Hot water off. No more conversation. Access denied. It was nice talking to you, you know, but this is the end of our road together. Okay. And I'm just gonna move around. So most times it's more powerful just to be silent. That block button is silent. Okay. So take good care of yourself. Keep an eye out, watch as well as pray. And I'm a bounce for right now. Good night, May May. Thank you for coming through. And if you like this content, you can hit the Cash App. It's not required, but it would be appreciated. Share my video, share my channel, please, and subscribe. Be blessed. Take care of yourself and each other. One love, and I'm out.